Hi, how are you doing? This is Greg Van Kirk, and I want to spend a few minutes here walking you through this logic model blueprint. This is for conversations focused on desired outcomes. The desired outcomes, what are the outcomes that you aspire to help the folks you're working with achieve, and how to achieve them. A quick note on this, this is really a sort of a foundational tool if you're working in community impact, social innovation, what have you. It's sort of your strategic plan and it helps you focus your measurement, your activities, your resources, et cetera, as you'll see, on achieving the desired outcome for the folks that you hope to support. So really important tool to have in your toolbox. So what I'll do is walk through the about this tool right here at the top, as you see here. Then we have how to use this tool. I'm going to walk you through the tool itself. So you'll see right here, and then we'll go through just some ideas for hands-on consulting and innovating. Basically, depending upon your engagement role, I have some guidance here to help you put this tool into action, into practice. So this is, just to note, an innovation design tool, and you'll find this currently in Toolkit 6, Design Blueprints. So about this tool, often referred to as a theory of change, a logic model framework is an indispensable tool for change makers, as I noted. Although it may require some practice and deeper dive learning, building a logic model framework is well worth the time investment. This logic model blueprint tool will help you and your team do this for your change-making innovation. Remember that innovation can be a strategy, a program, a solution, a product, right? It's up to you. Depends on what you're doing. The components of this logic model blueprint are as follows. Solution. This is a description of your contemplated or current solution or innovation, right? Community or organization. This is a summary description of the people whom you aspire to support with your change-making innovation. So who is the community? Who are the quote unquote beneficiaries, right? The community, the organization, the team, what have you. Size. This is the number of community or organization members, an estimate. Time frame. This is up to you based on the length of time you want the blueprint to cover. It could be a short term, medium term, or long term. You might also want to put dates. Desired outcome. These are the benefits, positive changes for community members during and or after participating in the change-making innovation activities. These may be positive changes in behavior, skills, knowledge, attitudes, values, conditions, etc. Success indicators. These tell you if you're achieving your desired outcome. These are typically numbers or percentages of the size. I'll go into that a little bit. Measurement techniques. These are how you collect information to understand your success indicators. These may include observations, surveys, tests, financial tracking, questionnaires, and the like. Right? So how are you getting the information? These are your measurement techniques that then help you with your success indicators. Inputs or resources, right? These are the resources required to implement the activities of the change-making innovation. Activities. These are what the innovation does with the inputs to produce the outputs that make the desired outcome. And outputs. The outputs plus the activities create, the inputs plus the activities create the outputs. These are usually measured in terms of volume of work accomplished. Examples may be the number of classes taught, counseling sessions conducted, and education materials distributed. Okay, so these are all the different components of the logic model blueprint. What I'm going to do is go to the actual tool itself and walk you through it in my own words. It's obviously this is in line with how to use this tool on the prior page, but just add a little bit, maybe more description and some thoughts here to help you out. As always, you can click, if you look at this in the PDF, you can click here up top or on the tool to access the Google Sheet and make an editable copy, right? So you can go in and copy, make an editable copy for you, for your teammates, what have you, so you all can work on this. One thing to note before we get started describing this is just remember, this is an iterative tool, right? This isn't homework. You're not going to do this once, right? It's a blueprint. It's going to change as you learn more. The important thing is to just get started. This is a tool where, as you work through it, it'll really help you think through what you're trying to achieve and how you're trying to achieve it. Just continually, work on this in pencil, so to speak, because it's going to change over time. But this is really going to guide how you go about doing your work. So at the top, as we know, to put the solution description. So what is the solution? Is it a program? Is it a product? Is it a course? Is it a new strategy, right? It's some, whatever it is, just describe that up here with as much detail as possible. Community or organization, here you want to be specific, right? Am I working, is this to support a specific organization, a company, a nonprofit? Maybe if I'm consulting, for example, or is this to support a specific community? So in my case, maybe a specific community in Guatemala, right? But might be more specific, and it might be women, it might be, women of a certain age, right? So as always, specificity, specificity, specificity. Again, you don't have to start with specificity, but work towards it. The size, the size is, the number of people in that community, right? That's going to help you with measurement. It's going to help you think, are you being too big? Are you being too small? But put down the size as best you can of the sort of the number of folks overall that you hope to support with your change making innovation. Okay, then we have the components. So the time frame, right? You may want to do a number of these. You may want to do, so we've got time frame description. So here in time frame to the right, you may want to put within the next 3 months, within 6 months, right? In a year, you may want to put a date, right? You probably want to build one of these if you're really getting comprehensive with it. Not necessarily for the certificate here, but just overall, what you would do is you build something short term, medium term, and long term. Right? And the short term changes would contribute to the medium term changes, which would contribute to the long term changes. Okay. So put in a time frame. Desired outcomes. So what is the change in people's lives? So people, I often use will have, will have, will have. People will have learned X. People will have become more Y. People will have gained access to Z, right? So some change will have happened. There's a suboptimal condition right now, and you want to, through your work, it's something will have happened that is positive. What is that, right? So put that down. Success indicators. How will you know it will have happened? So, for example, people will have desired outcomes. People will have access to water filters for the first time, right? What I might put if my population size was 100 people, I might say, I think, and if I had a time frame of maybe a year, I might say, I think maybe I can get to 50% of people. So I might say 50%. 50% of people who we present the water filters to will have them. Okay, so it's a success indicator. It's a percentage. You want to be ambitious, but obviously not overreach in terms of your number here. So how will you know if you reach success? It's important because that's what focuses. That's your North Star. Measurement technique. It might be observation. Again, it might be surveys. It might be sales. Right? How am I going to measure to know that I got to that success indicator? Do this first. Really, really important. Desired outcome first. Success indicator second. Measurement technique third. Right? Where we fail is when we do the stuff at the bottom first. Right? If you spend 80% of your time up top, right, the 20% you spend on the rest will be much easier. Okay, key inputs, resources. What am I going to need to be able to do this? It can be money, it can be cars, it can be classrooms, it can be teachers, it can be entrepreneurs, it can be raw materials, what have you. What are all the inputs that you need? Activities, what are we going to do? It could be teaching, it could be promotion, it could be marketing, it could be any number of things. But what are the actual activities that need to happen using the inputs? Okay. And then the outputs, right? Think of it, I put my inputs into an activities machine, a key activities machine, and then I have my key outputs, right? So if I have 50 students and teachers and everything that go into a classroom and my activity is teaching, my output might be, 35 students graduated, right? Or completed a course, right? My outputs contribute to me achieving my outcomes, right? I'm going to do certain things are going to happen. My outputs are a number, right? And I know that if I'm doing that, then I'm more likely to achieve my desired outcome. Okay. So long explanation there. If this is confusing for you, I'd encourage you to dive in as well. There are a lot of places that describe this. This is people do this for a living. But for the purposes of your certificate, really just try to understand how this works, excuse me. Note down, be as thoughtful as you possibly can on this. But I think you'll find this really, really, really helpful. So that's that. Thank you for forgive the long explanation. Engagement role guidance. So hands-on. So you might create a logic model blueprint for the organizations you're volunteering, working, or interning with. So what's the logic model for their work? Right? What's the solution? Can you map all of that out? Great for learning, great for asking questions. Consulting, use this to help the organization team and or project team that you're consulting for build a logic model blueprint for a new or modified solution strategy or program. As with all of these tools, this can be one of your final deliverables. And innovating. Build a logic model blueprint for your innovation. Start with what you think you know and iterate along the way. All right, remember, iterate, 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 iterate. Fill in what you can. So hopefully you found this helpful. Logic model blueprint, as I said, really important tool to have in your toolbox, something you'll use for the rest of your career in some way, shape, or form. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you need a little bit more guidance on this, please don't hesitate to reach out. It's what I'm here for. Apart from that, all the best and have a wonderful day.